Jonathan, you actually were involved in the last scandal that Obama administration had with their Secret Service agents back. I believe it was the scandal. Didn't it occur in Colombia?
Yeah, in Cartagena in about April 2012, when there were some Secret Service agents that solicited some prostitutes and brought them back to their a hotel room, and then the news broke, and the Secret Service agents were put on administrative leave, transferred home, and not only faced disciplinary action, in addition, there was a lot of investigations as to alleged fraternity atmosphere in the Secret Service.
Well, I remember one shock, not if that's not shocking enough, but one shocking part of that whole scandal down in Colombia was at one point, the report that, if I recall correctly, they were shouting about the negotiations as to the price of the prostitutes that they were using.
Right. Well, that one particular Secret Service agent was not my client, so I wasn't privy to everything that happened with respect to that.
Right.
But I did represent one of the agents. I have the investigators' notes from the interviews they took from the hotel, from the actual prostitutes. I mean, there's a lot of privacy information I have about that and what transpired, and I was involved in a lot of the discussions with the Border Protection and the investigations that occurred as a result.
Well, is this, and I know you've been a government employee attorney for a while now. Why is it? Is it just now in the Obama administration, or is this typical? I don't remember seeing stories like this during either of the Bush administrations, nor did I see it during the Clinton administration.
I assure you that the same employees are there. The Secret Service agents don't make a tremendous change from administration to administration. I'm sure it had happened before. I'm actually pretty positive it had happened before. For some reason, it was kept secret, and since the Obama administration, I guess through media and public eye, now it's pretty apparent. I mean, you're dealing with, again, not to make excuses for any type of misconduct, but you're dealing with Secret Service agents who have a high pressure job. They're going out to Cartagena or Amsterdam or whatever it may be. They do their job for the day. They give them the night off. They go out and they blow off some steam, and they don't always choose the right way to do it. So
I hate to tell you, but this just doesn't smell right to me. I'm thinking to myself earlier on in the program, I'm thinking if I'm the president of the United States or anywhere near to the president of the United States, I'm thinking I want Marines around me. That's what I want. The Marines are traditionally the ones who go in and survey an area before, the rest of the people follow. So, I want people, and I understand it's high pressure. It's certainly high pressure because, listen, if the president any president has a target on their back, and certainly if you're guarding them, you're going to have targets as well. But gee whiz, I don't know, maybe a little alcohol or something like that. But these guys are, when you're talking about prostitution, you're talking about getting drunk and falling asleep in the hallways. I don't know. That doesn't sound, too comforting to me.
Sure, and in all fairness to the recent situation now, I mean, these are allegations. The good thing about the federal government is that they are going to do an investigation. They were sent home on administrative leave, which is paid administrative leave. There is going to be a full and complete investigation like there was in Cartagena. And again, the allegation is he was drunk and passed out. We don't know what really happened, so I imagine that there are going to be some answers.
Well, let's talk. If you can, are you allowed to? Is the Colombia investigation still going on? Is there a lawsuit still going on there, or anything like that?
No. What I can state is the Secret Service agents involved either resigned or were terminated. That caused a tremendous investigation to see if there was a long-standing
fraternity-like
atmosphere there, and the investigation ruled that there wasn't. Although they're investigating themselves. So
right. Now, so in other words, when you represented one of the, you had a client, he or she was either dismissed or they stepped down or resigned.
Correct.
So none of the 13 that were accused of bad behavior is still on board?
Correct. None of them continued with the agency. And the interesting thing is that there were some policy changes as a direct result. For example, now the Secret Service agents cannot bring foreign nationals back to a hotel where other Secret Service agents are. And then there's, of course, that 10-hour rule that everyone's hearing about, that you can't drink alcohol within 10 hours of the shift.
Huh? I don't like either one of those. You know, let's address the first one. You can't bring a foreign national back to the hotel where other service agents are staying, or so does that mean they can take the foreign national to another hotel?
It doesn't explicitly say that, but obviously it's easy to get that interpretation.
Or they could go to a house, or they could go anywhere, quite frankly. Right?
That's my interpretation.
Yeah,
of it.
And they limit it to a house. I mean, to the hotel or wherever the other service agents are staying.
That's right.
Geez,
apparently there might be some confidential information there, whatever it might be.
That seems pretty limited. I don't know, Jonathan Bell. It seems to me, again, just and being foreign to this area, I'm just thinking that the people who are responsible of guarding the President of the United States, the Commander-in-Chief of all our armed forces, I mean, he is, and he is certainly, and soon to be, a she, but not a Democrat, and not Hillary. That person is the most powerful person in the world, and to think that this is their type of behavior, I mean, I don't expect them to be, I don't know. I was going to say priests, but, I don't expect them to be totally. But it seems to me if they're going out on kind of like a reconnaissance type mission, these are agents that are sent out, a week or so before the president gets there with his entourage. Is that correct?
They're usually sent less than that. Usually sent a day or two before.
Okay, a day or two.
A day before, they have to go through the exact steps, the exact walks that the president would do.
Yeah.
Look around, survey the area, and generally it's a day or two before.
It would just seem to me, Jonathan Bell, that once you get on that plane and your direction and your duty is to go out and make sure that the path is going to be clear for the President of the United States. It seems to me the minute they leave, the plane takes off from wherever in Washington, D.C. or wherever they are to wherever he's going, they're on duty. I mean, I can't imagine these guys feeling it possible, I don't know, feeling it proper to go out and even having, a lot of beers or drinks or to the point where you're intoxicated. I'm just thinking you're on duty. I mean, it just seems to me that you're privy to such important and top secret information like the path that the president's going to take. It kind of reminds me of that instance where the president was giving the speech. I forgot where the country was, and the guy who was doing the sign language was a complete imposter. I mean, it's really.
You bring up a good point, and I could tell you that probably 90 to 95% of the Secret Service men and women are involved take their job seriously and do that. It's just like in any position, you just have a few that might veer from that once in a while, and a lot of times when they have these, when they have to fly to a place like Cartagena or Amsterdam, they'll actually throw these Secret Service agents a bone and say, "Okay, you've been doing a good job, so as a gift, we're allowing you to come on this break." And unfortunately, sometimes they treat it like a spring break.
Now, let me tell you something, Jonathan Bell, and I'm not trying to be naive here. But if my Secret Service, if I'm flying to the Vatican, all right, I'll throw them a bone and say, listen, go out and get some good pasta and have a bottle of wine. But if my next stop was Amsterdam, of all places, we've heard about Amsterdam. I mean, you've heard about Amsterdam, haven't you?
Sure.
Have you ever been to Amsterdam?
No, not yet.
I've had friends that've been to Amsterdam, and let me tell you something. That place makes Las Vegas look like I don't know. It's not it is what it is, Amsterdam. But that's not the place to throw the bone for Secret Service agents to relax and have a good time because you're doing a good job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but on the same token, if it's done in a mature way, you get to go out, see a new place that you wouldn't otherwise have the opportunity to do it. And as long as you do it responsibly, any place that you go to, foreign or otherwise, could be a nice adventure for someone. But they got to be responsible. I mean, the fact of the matter is, each and every one of them passed a security clearance background.
It must be top level. security clearance. No.
Yeah, it's top level, but to get the clearance, they don't really differentiate between the different stages. So it's really either you are the caliber to have a clearance or you're not.
Let me ask you this: Do Secret Service agents, since you've represented them before, do they tend to or generally have a military background, or do they have any sharpshooter type background stuff? That's what I again.
A lot of them do, but it's not an absolute requirement. No, I mean obviously they go through rigorous training. I can tell you that that they are very qualified to do their job. Unfortunately, some of them feel like once the job is quote unquote over, or they have some downtime, that personally they could do whatever they want.
I guess we just have a difference of opinion as to when the job's over. I mean, when the job is over, in my opinion, if you're a Secret Service agent and you're back on homeland, you're back in the United States, and you're going to your residence, your home, wherever that is. In fact, I knew a Secret Service agent. He lived out here on Long Island. Certainly when he's home, that's fine. Do whatever you want to do. But when you're out on one of these missions, or when you're out on, you're trying to clear the way for the president, because our commanding officer is about to land in this place. I don't know. I'm just thinking you're on duty 24/7. That's just my opinion.
Right, and technically you are, and you should hold yourself out in the correct way.
Yeah,
where you have the right perceptions. Unfortunately, that doesn't always happen, but I can assure you it does happen at least 95% of the time, and especially since Cartagena, I believe things got a little bit stricter. I mean, really, you had 3 people that were sent home. One of them was intoxicated. The other 2 apparently weren't.
Right.
And again, the one was allegedly intoxicated. Right. The other 2 were sent home because they didn't assist the one that was intoxicated. So.
Okay, that's Amsterdam, right? But
Amsterdam.
In
correct.
Colombia, there were 13 of them that got in trouble. Correct.
Right, and again, I think that they've engaged in these types of practices in the past. They were in Cartagena, where prostitution is legal. They were done for the night. They all went out, and one thing led to another, and that was the situation, unfortunately.
They started haggling over prostitution prices. What a place. I'm telling you. Well, anyway, Jonathan Bell, I appreciate your insight into the issue, and thanks for joining us on the program.
Thanks for having me once again. I really appreciate it.
All right, folks. Jonathan Bell, he's an attorney. He represents government employees when they're getting, investigated and so forth. If you care to have any more information on Jonathan, it's jonathanbelllaw.com, just as it's jonathanbelllaw.com.